Hey everyone, welcome to another video with CB Racing, and this is going to be video 2 in this series that's going to show you how to get off your couch onto the racetrack. So this one's going to be all about what to bring to a track day. If you remember from one of my earlier videos that showed you how to remove the rear seats in a Mark 7 or Mark 7.5 GTI, this is going to show you what's in that bag. It's also going to show you what to bring, what not to bring, what you should have in your car, what not to have in your car, and just some basic ideas, hints and tips to have with you when you get there. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I always have in the back of my car is my Roadside Assistance Kit. This is just stuff that I have normally, especially for everyday use. I'm going to take this along because you never know what happens on the way or from the track, and also there's some stuff in here that I can use. So let's take a look. So first thing is some jumper cables. They can always come in handy because you never know. Then I have some gloves, some miscellaneous things, screwdriver, some sockets, everything that I need for my car. This is just a regular poncho because it's a Roadside Assistance Kit. I also have a pair of pliers and some sockets, just enough to get me by, and a couple hose clamps just in case anything ever blows. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to move on to something else. So I will always have a torque wrench with me. I am also going to always have a breaker bar with me. So this is something that I showed in a previous video. This is going to be a air compressor. This plugs right into the 12-volt outlet in the cars. People are going to give you a whole bunch of different advices on what tire pressure to start with. I always tell people, start at your manufacturer's spec, and then work your way from there. And the good idea is to bring a notepad to write those tire pressures down so you can see what works best for your car after each run. Something else I always bring with me is a microfiber towel, and this comes in many shapes or forms. The reason I bring this is because we're going to need to put numbers on the side of my car. I usually use masking tape. You just want to make them big and readable for the flaggers. So as we just talked about, a good roll of painter's tape, masking tape. Usually you want to get something at least the width of your thumb. Sometimes I get the thicker stuff. That's what I usually roll with. This was just cheaper, but you just want something that's not going to damage your paint, that you can easily put on and put off. And surprisingly, this holds up really well in the rain as well. So I have a black car, so I use green tape. People with lighter colors obviously use the opposite color of your car, so it really stands out. Okay, so this is something I use in my daily driving kit, my Roadside Assistance Kit, but I just wanted to pull these out to note. These are tire plugs. These are usually going to come in a kit. It's usually pretty cheap. This is to ream the inside of the hole out, and this is to push the plug in, so I usually bring a set of those. So zip ties. Zip ties are very helpful, and they can definitely reattach things and or hold things together. So that's something I don't usually bring. Alright, so another thing I usually tell people to bring, and I'm not going to go into specifics of all the things I bring, but bring everything that you need, tools required for your car. My car is going to be a lot different than everybody else's, and vice versa. So just bring the tools that are required for your car. Okay, so if you are going to be using Track Addict or any type of video camera recording on the track, you need to make sure it's properly mounted. You need to get something like a RAM mount. I have the link in most of my videos for this, but what happens is I put my phone in here, but they also make connectors for roll cages and stuff like that. This one just attaches to the window. It needs to be securely mounted. You cannot have any loose phone or recording equipment, and it needs to be a secure mount. that could potentially be a projectile or a missile going around a turn. So that's really important. Okay, another thing is you're going to want to have some oil, just some extra oil. I usually keep a quart any track days I do. Okay, so we are also going to bring a jack. That's something I always tell people to bring. This is something I got from Harbor Freight really cheaply, and it's lightweight. So that's something that will be helpful. Okay, so that's most of what people will normally bring to the track. This, if you are regularly going, you may want to get a track bag that has everything you're gonna need in it. Alright, so let's take a look into my track bag and see what I usually bring into the track. So first thing is I usually bring some spare front brake pads, just because you never know when you're gonna need them. Run a pair of rear as well. Some of the other things, I always bring some vacuum line. You really never know when you're gonna need some vacuum line. These are all the tools, a couple extra lug bolts, but all the sockets that I really need. Again, that's gonna be kind of your car specific. So I usually bring a C-clamp, or this I picked up pretty cheaply. It's just a brake caliper compressor. Some channel locks, because you never know. Usually bring some channel locks with me. A couple screwdrivers, just because they're usually helpful. A whole bunch of hose clamps. Again, this is just precaution in case I need it. I usually bring a light with me, whatever wrenches I need. Again, these are going to be specific to your car. So that's it. Now I have an empty track bag. Alright, so now let's talk helmets. So you're going to want to get a helmet. You can usually rent one at the track. However, it's a good idea if you're going to be doing this often to get your own. So what you're going to want to look for on any helmet you're buying is Snell approval, SA approval. It should say SA, usually 2010 and up is where you want to be nowadays. So that's another piece that you're going to want to bring with you to the track. And as far as a helmet goes, you're also going to want to get something that's Hans device suitable. That way, if you ever get to that point or you really buy into racing, you're already there. You can get usually an SA 2015 approved helmet for around $150. If you're looking for something that could support a Hans device, you're looking for usually around $200 to $250 for the cheapest, and then you can go all the way up to about $5 grand. So, all right, another thing you're going to want to bring for yourself to the track is a hat. You are standing outside all of the day. And you're going to want to wear something on your head, and then definitely prepare to be out in the sun. Racetracks are pretty open. Obviously, there's not a lot of shade. Tracks usually don't have a lot of trees near them, especially in the paddock area. So you're going to want to protect yourself in some way. Also, you're going to want to bring like some snacks with you. You can usually buy snacks at the track or run up the street to a Turkey Hill real quick, or a gas station real quick. But you're going to want to bring something with you to the track. Driving at high alert at those speeds for a long period of time can be extremely exhausting, so it's really important you treat yourself right. Alright, and speaking of treating yourself right, water. You will get extremely thirsty while on track. Alright, now that we've discussed everything to bring to a track day, we're going to now discuss what not to bring. So it's kind of up to you. You can take the seats out of your car if you want to or not. If it's your first track day, it's probably not worth it. If it's something you do regularly, that might be something you want to think about. All right, other things not to take. This car seat's got to go. Things in the back of the pouches, they all need to come out. Floor mats, anything under your seat is going to want to come out. Just check under there. Anything in the side compartments, again, floor mats, anything in here, anything in the side compartments, and anything above visors. Pretty much everything's got to come out of your car. What you don't want is to hit the brakes hard and something come flying from the back and hit you in the back of the head, your instructor in the back of the head, your windshield, and or anything else. So I would even go as far as to take something like this out, which is basically just a cover. I would also, if you're in a sedan or a coupe and you have a trunk, make sure your trunk is completely empty. A couple other things you're going to want to bring. You're going to want to have your driver's license, your tech registration form, and yeah, that's about it.
Thanks for watching CB Racing. Click that bell down below and subscribe to our channel and give us a big thumbs up. Bye!